showing you guys how I highlight and contour my face. I know that there's so many different ways, so many different techniques on how to do this. This is the way I learned to do it. I'm not a professional at this, but even though I learn something new each day, this is the way I like to do it. So yeah, if you guys want to see how I do it, let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is highlight my face, and what this is going to do is pretty much brighten up your face, highlighting your face. So you want to take a concealer that's lighter than, like 2 or 3 shades lighter than your skin, because you're highlighting with it. So you want to use something that's really light, and you're gonna put this concealer pretty much just on the center of your face, which will be your under eye area, your chin, your upper lip, your nose, and your T-zone right here. That's the part that you want to highlight. Okay, but now I want you to keep in mind that if your face is round and you put your concealer all the way up, your face might look more round. You see what I'm saying? Because you're putting your concealer all the way up, so what this is doing is enlarging your face that way, so it's going to look more round. Now, if you want your face to look more long, you're not gonna bring your concealer all the way up, but you're going to bring it down. So you're just gonna leave it like right here, and you're gonna bring it all the way down to right here, and then bring it up, but not all the way up. So I'm gonna show you the way I do it. So I take my concealer and I'm gonna start putting these under my eye area. So since I want my face to look a little bit more long, I'm not gonna take it all the way up. I'm just gonna stop right there. But here, I'm gonna bring it all the way down. Like that. I'm gonna go ahead and do the same on my other eye. So I'm gonna stop right there, and I'm gonna bring it down and up. So it looks like a triangle. That's what we're going for. The next place where I'm gonna put it is on my chin. I'm gonna put some on my upper lip, on the bridge of my nose, and on my forehead. So it's gonna look something like this. You can use a brush or you can use a sponge, whatever you want to use. I'm gonna use this sponge from Real Techniques, and I'm gonna start blending that concealer. And if you notice, it's way lighter than my actual skin color. Like I said, guys, I want you to keep in mind I am not a professional on this. This is the way I learned. So of course you can do it however you want to do it. Okay, so now that I'm done placing that concealer, I'm gonna go ahead and set it and set the rest of my face. This is something that you don't want to skip, because you don't want your foundation and your concealer to be creasing on you. Now I want you to keep in mind that I'm not gonna be using any cream contouring or bronzing or anything like that. I'm gonna be using a powder. So that's the reason I'm gonna go ahead and set my face. Now, if you're using a contour that's a cream contour, a cream bronzer, you wanna do that before you go ahead and set it, because you cannot apply a cream contour on top of a powder, because you're just gonna be messing up everything. So you want to make sure that you know what you're using. So I'm using everything that I'm gonna be using. It's powder, my contour, my bronzer, and all that kind of stuff. So I'm gonna go ahead and set my face. Okay, another thing that I wanted to tell you is that if you want the center of your face to be more highlighter, you can go for a really bright setting powder. The one I like to use is this one from my Kat Von D palette, because this is like a banana shade, so it's gonna be adding more highlighter onto my the center of my face. I also like to use this one. No, it's this one from my Too Faced Cocoa Contour Palette. And from the drugstore, I like to use this one from e.L.F. So that depends on you how much highlighting you want to add to your face. If you just want to leave it as it is, you can just go for a transparent powder like this one from Rimmell. This is the Rimmell Stay Matte powder, I think it is. So, but since this video it's all about highlighting and contouring, I'm gonna be using my Kat Von D palette. I'm gonna use this shade right here just because I want the center of the face to be more highlighter. So this is setting my concealer, but at the same time it's going to brighten up my face even more. I'm also gonna put some of that on my chin, pretty much everywhere where I apply that concealer. And now I'm just gonna go back and set the rest of my face. Okay, so the next step we're going to do is contour our face. And what this is going to be doing, it's pretty much shaping your face. If you want your nose to look a little bit more slim, a little bit more skinny, if you want your forehead to look a little bigger, a little small, if you want your cheeks to look more lifted, that's what the contour is going to do. Now, the way you're gonna contour is depend on how you want your contour to look. If you want a really dramatic contour, if you want something more soft, something a little bit more natural, even though contouring is not natural at all because it's not. So, but you can do it the way you wanted it look on your face. So for example, to me, this is my personal opinion. I think the Kat Von D palette will give me a more dramatic contour, if you know what I'm saying. If you want to go for a more soft or more natural contour, I will definitely like to use my Too Faced contour palette. But like I said, these are my personal opinions. You can use whatever you want. Again, I'm gonna show you from my from the drugstore a couple more products that you can use. You can use the e.L.F. contour palette. This is pretty soft, pretty natural to me. You can also use the Wet n Wild palette, and there's so many things that you can use, so it's however you want to do it. Okay, so for today I'm gonna be using my Kat Von D palette. So I'm gonna go ahead and take this shade right here and I'm gonna start contouring my face. And you can use so many different brushes to contour your face. Lately, I've been using this one from e.L.F. This is the small tempered brush, and I love this little brush. I use it to set my under eye concealer because it's so small, it gets right under there. But like I said, lately I've been using it to contour my face because of the shape of the brush. It goes right on under the hollows of my cheeks, so that's the one I'm gonna be using today. Okay, so some of the hard things that I had to do when I started contouring my face was finding the right place where I was supposed to put my contour. So I'm gonna show you some techniques that I learned along the way on where to put your contour. So one of the things was the hollows of my cheeks. You're supposed to put the contour right on the hollows of your cheeks, but it was so hard for me to find it. So one of the things that you can do is grab your brush, any brush that you have, and just find your cheekbone and start rolling down the brush. So you're gonna be feeling your cheekbone. When you roll down and you feel that the cheekbone ended, that's exactly where you're gonna put the contour. Okay, so another thing that you can do is just suck in your cheeks like that. And you're going to see your contour, like naturally, you're gonna see the line where your contour goes. And I always start like right here. And I sucked in the cheeks so I can see the line, and that's exactly where I'm going to start putting the contour. And what this is doing is lifting up my cheeks. So it's going to look, my face is going to look more slim and more, and the cheeks are gonna look more lifted. And I'm gonna start putting the contour pretty much everywhere where I want to create shadows, because that's exactly what we do in creating shadows. Right now I'm just placing the contour. That's why it looks really harsh, because I'm just pretty much placing it. Then later on I'm gonna go with a more fluffy brush and I'm gonna start blending it out. I like to put this right here in under my lip, just because it's gonna create a little shadow right there, so my lip is going to look a little bit more fuller. Now for my nose, I'm gonna grab a smaller brush like this. I'm gonna dip it in the contour. And I'm gonna start creating a line on top of my nose. Remember, it depends on how you want your nose to look. That's how you're going to apply your contour. So I want my nose to look really slim. So I'm gonna do 2 lines like right on the top of the nose, like on the bridge of the nose. Okay, so now that we're done placing the contour, it should look something like this. So now what I like to do is go back with the bronzer, because what the bronzer is going to do is pretty much the same thing, with the only difference that a bronzer, it's more like a warm tone, and the contour is more like a cool tone, so it looks more like a shadow. And what the bronzer is doing is just pretty much bringing more color and warmth to your skin. So what I like to do is take a big fluffy brush like this, dip it in the bronzer, and start blending my contour with the bronzer. Okay, so now that I'm done placing my contour and my bronzer, I'm gonna go ahead and move to my blush. Now, when it comes to blushes, I like to stay away from the really dark pink blushes, just because I'm afraid that I'm gonna be putting too much and then I'm gonna be looking like a clown. So that's the reason I like to stay more with the pinky baby blushes, more like peachy colors. Because they're gonna look more natural on my skin. So I'm gonna be using this one from Milani. I think this is the most natural blush, and this one is in Luminoso. And I'm gonna be putting the blush right on the apples of my cheeks. Another thing that I like to do is, if I want my contour to be really defined, I like to take more of that same powder, the banana powder, and with the same brush that I use to contour, I will dip it in it, and then I will place it right here and drag it down. And that's going to make my contour more defined. Okay, so we are almost over, guys. So the next thing I'm going to do is add some highlighting. Now, this is not the same thing I did with the liquid concealer. This is adding some reflection on my face. So whenever the light hits my face, there's going to be some highlighting, there's going to be some reflection. So you want to add the highlighting on the high points of your face, like right here on top of your cheeks, pretty much everywhere where you add the liquid highlighter. So the one that I'm gonna be using today is this two from the Carly Bible palette. Ever since I got the palette, I've I've been obsessed with it, especially this highlighter. These are the most beautiful pigmented highlighters I come across with. So I'm gonna be mixing these two right here, and I'm gonna start putting these pretty much on the high points of my face. So that one is going to go right here, like on top of my cheek. And that, you guys, is it for this video. I hope you guys find it really helpful. Like I said, I'm not a professional at this. This is the way I like to do it, and I just wanted to share it with you guys. So you can change the way you do it. You can change the techniques. It's however you want to do it. So yeah, I hope you guys like this video. Thank you so much for watching. Please don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.